Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're watching this. Thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. So today we're out at Lake Don Pedro. I've got a special video for you guys. Smash that subscribe and like. What we're gonna do today is actually not just do a bunch of fishing and catching. We're gonna try to take you around, show you what we're looking for and the structure we're looking for, the areas of the lake that we're looking for. We're gonna smash up around, we're gonna try to find some fish, but the main goal is just to show you guys around, show you some fall transition and fall fishing tips. Remember, when the light starts to change and when the night temperature starts to drop, you know that fall transition is happening. It's already happened basically, or happening. We're getting into fall fishing. We'll see you guys soon. Let's go get them. Okay. Look what we're getting them on, folks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't break the poles.
I'm trying not to. I'm getting your net.
It's all right.
Okay.
I don't need it. It's a little dude. But it's cool what we got them on. So, folks, these fish out here are suspended. And it's been a little tough getting them at first. So, I threw the floating fly. Got a keeper. So let's see if we can find, we're out to find the largemouth. I'm gonna head upriver and take a look. So one place we're in right now is in kind of a cut, right? So you wanna find places where these fish can pin the bait fish. And I've got a floating fly out, just drifting around with about a 25-foot leader, and worked. So we'll see you guys on the next fish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things you want to do in the fall is check in the backs of creeks. We're also going to head upriver. So for example, this is Lake Don Pedro. I'm going to be checking out Hatch Creek, these cuts in here. So right now I'm catching fish on either main lake points on rocks and structure, or either in cuts like this where the fish can pin bait fish, you know, 30 to 60 feet deep. And they're suspended, they're top water, they're on the bottom, they're all over the place right now. So they're still in their transitional pattern. They'll settle down more towards the floor, especially once the weather cools more. But I noticed the majority of the fish I've been seeing near the top are smaller 6 to 10 inch spotted bass and some small largies. So we're gonna be breaking down Hatch Creek and then heading up towards Moccasin, maybe Woods. So wish us luck. We'll point out anything that stands out, and smash that subscribe and like. Thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing.
Get off your seat.
It's a little guy probably, but
Here it is. Where's it?
wonder.
There you go.
Right. Nice. He was deep. Out on the back of Hatch Creek. Way out there in the deep. And look what he's throwing up, folks. Let's pull this out. It's right here on the tip of his tongue, so as soon as it goes in, it's going to come out anyways. You guys can see that in there. He's got a nice 3-inch shad or so stuck in there.
Oh, yeah, leaving it. Where is he?
Oh yeah, he's right here, don't worry. Wait till he comes up. That's a nice largemouth right now. Nice!
That's a
fatty.
That's a nice one.
LV 500, folks. Woo. So look how far I am off of shore, and I'm casting out into probably 60 feet of water, and I'm working it like a jig, and then I'm popping it up maybe 10 feet off the bottom at max, and just got a nice one. So we'll get her off and we'll see you guys in a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is not going to be about catching a lot of fish, numbers. We're going to show you how to catch some bigger fish, how to target them, and how to find them when you don't have a fish finder as well. What we're looking for, structure, the type of the lakes the areas that I'm fishing and how I'm doing it. So just got this nice one off of an LV 500 out here at Lake Don Pedro. We're gonna get a photo, let her go, and we'll see you guys on the next one, and I'll point out what I'm doing. So don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, folks, I'm looking for stuff like this with a you know, it's kind of a wash where water will come down. There's a, you know, a raise here and a raise there. I'm fishing offshore. I'm using LV 500s. I'm trying very deep. I've tried shallow and mid, and most of the fish so far came deep. Hey, so I'm gonna fish this swing coming out this way, and try to remember, one of the biggest and best tips and tricks I can give for this time of year is when the lake is dropping, the fish will pull out. When the lake is rising, the fish will pull up. So fall, no water, we're in a drought. The lake is definitely dropping, so I'd fish more offshore instead of covering the shoreline and throwing like jigs and drop shots and whatnot, or crankbaits, whatever else you're gonna do. I'd strongly recommend throwing jigging spoons, LV 500s, drop shots, shaky head, all that good stuff, and fish it out. A-rig should be good too right now. So, and top water is also performing every once in a while. So keep your eyes open for fish and activity, and we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, folks, I'm gonna show you guys how I'm using this LV 500 and what retrieve and technique and what gear I'm using it on. I've got a special kind of technique that I do, and I want to share it with you guys, okay? So hold on. All right, folks, I've got a special LV 500 technique that I've kind of perfected. I haven't seen many people fish it this way. I've seen people fish it this way, but not often. When you speak of yo-yoing, I'm used to someone who's using their fish finder and they're yo-yoing their LV 500 like a jigging spoon up and down right near the boat. What I'm doing is I'm bombing this LV 500 out like a search bait, and I'm tossing it out into 60, maybe 70, but I'm going for 50 to 60 feet deep. Then what I'm doing is I'm letting the LV sink all the way down. Now, the gear that I'm using is I'm using a Shimano Curado 200 XG. I've got a 7'6" Jimmy Morrison Carbon Light 2.0 with a fast action tip. And I'm using 12-pound fluoro. Now, this breaks all the rules. You're supposed to use mono so you get a little stretch, and that those treble hooks don't rip giant holes in the face and you don't snap your line. You're also usually supposed to use a little bit of a shorter rod and something a little more flexible, but with a rattle trap or an LV 500, so to speak, that's not what I want. I want a stiff rod with a fast tip, and then the specific retrieve that I'm doing is very unique. So we're going to show you guys. So follow this along here. So what I'm doing is I let the lure hit the bottom, and then I'm just simply jigging it up, and then I'm following it down. And there's a couple rules I'm breaking, and I'm going to explain why. So one, I'm using 12-pound fluoro over mono. The reason for that is that it's way more sensitive, and I think that it allows me to do this very special technique, and I'll explain it. So this is a 7'6" rod, so I'm getting a nice big vertical swing here. My lure's probably coming off the ground 5 to 8 feet, and it's coming nice and smooth. Now when I go to drop and follow it down, a lot of the time I get bit. It's just a little bluegill bite, it's just a tap. And with this extra long rod and the fluoro, it's so sensitive, I can feel this just light little nick. I swear that's all it is. They are not hammering it sometimes, right? And when they do that, they just barely nick it. So when they do that, I don't have to set the hook on them, right? Because for one, I'm using fluoro. Two, I'm using a stiffer, longer rod. So when I do this right here, and I follow it down, right? And let's say I get bit with it all the way up, because that's, you know, guys are going to tell you, keep your rod tip low, work it up to here, and follow it down. Keep your rod tip low, work it up to here, and follow it down. However, I don't get as much of a hop, and if you do a vicious one, sometimes the LV500 can get tangled up in the line. If you do a smooth, it works almost every time. And then what happens is, like I said, when I have this rod tip high like this and I follow it down, sensitive, I feel every little tiny tap. Now, let's say I get a bite. How do I set the hook? So you got to remember, I'm using fluoro, so there's no stretch, right? And a long rod. So again, I'm just going to lift, and if say I get bit, I'm just going to start reeling, and I'm going to kind of twist and turn my torso, and I start reeling. Because this is fluoro and I got treble hooks, I don't miss any of my fish barely, so I don't really have to swing on it. So I hope these tips and tricks help out for you guys. Get out here, throw the LV500. Remember, you can take it, you can toss it right up on shore and work it like a jig, and use soft little 2-foot hops and do the same thing. Or throw it deep, or throw it mid. You can use this technique. It works really good. Now, if you're not getting them like that, another thing you can do is once it hits the bottom and you jig it up, double jig it, or don't let it hit the bottom again and jig it again, and try to get it a little higher in the water column, 15 feet off the ground maybe. And I've gotten a lot of fish like that as well, but doing the same technique. So thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. We'll see you guys on the next fish. Oh, he's coming up to jump. Might be a little guy. Don't know yet. He's not doing much yet. He's coming this way. Oh, just a little guy. Yeah, little guy. We're good. I got it. Largemouth though. Largemouth? Yep. So, LV500. Whoa. Yep, everything's coming out deeper. So, if I was you guys, I'd be fishing deeper, offshore, and jigging spoons, LV500s, stuff like that. Nice.
Got good.
Yep. Fishing way out this way and using an LV500 in a jigging pattern. So again, today's not about numbers. It's just trying to show you guys how we're trying to pattern and catch hopefully the bigger and better fish, and you know, just have fun. It's all right. Well, you got one. Good job.
He was still on there. Oh,
yeah.
Look, he just dropped that too.
Yeah.
On your boat.
Good job, buddy. Drop shot. Hey, hold him up.
Check this. Take that.
We'll take a photo. So I'm out here with my son Tyler, getting them. You having fun, buddy?
Yeah.
So let's go get some more. Thanks for watching.
I'm stupid. I'm sitting here fighting it the whole time.
This guy thought he had a stick on the whole time, and he had a fish.
And it started fighting back, then I reeled it in.
Out here, Lake Don Pedro, getting them. Later.